Okay, hopefully I am live now. And there's nobody watching currently. All right. So, if you saw my last video, I did a United States all-out strike against China. There had been somebody, one of the commenters on a previous video to that, had asked about how many casualties there'd be with the density of Chinese cities. So I decided to do something a little interesting, and I ran it with the AI doing all the targeting. And I said, you know what? Let me do that, and then I'll go back and manually do all the targeting and see who does a better job. And so this is a working session. I did the AI one. It ended up being about 22 million casualties across China and Hong Kong and a few other places, but North Korea. So I'm going to do this now manually. I've already started. And so I did Shanghai, started with the most populated city in China, and let's see here. Get an idea there, utilizing 2 ballistic missile subs. So there you can see some of the targeting layouts there and the trajectories. So again, that's one sub, and there's the other one. This is just a tiny fraction, so we're looking at about 2,000 warhead and targets I got to set. So that's what I'm working on. Got to figure out this whole bit rate thing, why it keeps coming up with an error. I'll figure that one out. All right, let's start with this one. Target. So I look at always setting just as a just standard 500-meter height. And on these big cities, just looking at a lot of overlap. These right here are 90 kiloton warheads. That'd be, if you're familiar with history, the only nuclear weapons deployed in anger. The atomic bombs. The smaller of the two was about 15 kilotons. I think the other one's about 20 kiloton. So you're looking at 90 kilotons. So these are not anywhere close to the largest warhead yield sizes, but still wouldn't be a pleasant experience. So each missile is MIRVed. So I see this. And so each one's going to have each missile is going to have these 890 kiloton warheads. So if you were to come back, each one has to have, for each missile, your MIRVs are going to have a certain range, but right now we're just focused on Beijing. Making sure we got good, adequate coverage. So I started with the Tridents, the Ohio class ballistic missile subs, and then I'm going to work into the actual ICBMs. So I took the largest cities in China, dedicated a certain amount of subs to each one. Let's see here. So each sub has approximately 25 megatons worth of warheads. Fully loaded out MIRV Tridents. Okay. I'm just going to fill in the blank, and a little bit of overkill here, but okay, so now we're going to get into the 455 kiloton warheads. These have a bigger yield size, bigger blast radius. So hitting the little more sparsely populated areas. All right. Plan. Okay. So there's all the targets there for Shanghai. And there we are for Beijing. So I'm going to, that was one. Go ahead and save scenario, save sandbox. So what I do, every time I do one of the plans, I go ahead and run through a test, have them launch everything according to plan. So those are 2 subs. Just make sure everything's working like it's supposed to. Okay. 81.2 million. That's 3 subs. So if you've seen the other video, I think I'm going to be able to beat the AI pretty comfortably. So let me go back and load from where I saved, because I want to do a fresh one each time. Load sandbox. Okay, let's just make sure. Yep, so it's that one. So I'm going to choose this one. Target. Keep the 500 feet. Okay. So I'm going to consider this the greater Beijing area now and start to focus a little bit on that. And this is a very large population center here. Remember, the idea behind this is it's testing maximum civilian casualties. So this isn't targeting military centers, industrial centers, nothing more than maximum terror. I already did this with a Russian strike on the United States where I manually did the 2,000 targets. If you haven't seen that, highly encourage you to watch it. Let's see how many of these small ones. Okay. Still consider this Greater Beijing. All right, so we have some of our bigger warhead yields. So I'm going to drop a few of these on Beijing proper. They already had the smaller ones, but really just thoroughness of the strike. I don't want to get too far south here. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm just... Okay. All right, so let's take a look at targets. Let's take a look at. So I still got this third one down here. Save it. All right, let's run the tests now. So for the attack plans, it's basically 4 subs. Just make sure they're firing down south. Everything's going good. 104 million so far. So that's 4 subs targeting 2 largest cities and surrounding areas. Wow. Okay. Go back and load. Let's go load. Where was my list? All right. I'm not even going to entertain trying to pronounce this one. All right, let's start here with this boat. Just make sure everything's good. Everything's still there. Okay. So target. I don't know if I'll have to use the ICBMs to beat the AI when it comes to casualties. I think I can do it with just the subs. Okay, and what was it? So if it's just the smaller Whiskey 76 warheads, hold on a second, I had it factored in because I know each sub is about 25 megatons total. Okay, so it's about 11 megatons with the W76, and the larger one's about 15. Continue setting up targets. So you're seeing this thing that's a lot of overlap. There absolutely is. When you're talking on total number of warheads available, such a huge amount. That's what I was running into when I was doing the Russian strike on the United States. It was just like, it's like bombing these tiny podunk cities, towns, not cities even. Just so many warheads. It's like, okay, you can only put so many on Los Angeles or New York or Denver. At some point, you're like, you're going to have to spread the love a little bit. And that's what you kind of see, especially with these United States and Russia and their total number of stockpile. I bet you Britain wouldn't be too happy with us dropping so many warheads near their old colony. They weren't too particularly thrilled when we invaded Grenada. Grenada? Don't know. Okay, how many do I have here? I think this one already has its own one. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. It's, whoops. Oh well. Fill in the gaps there, right there. A little 6 kiloton warhead. All right. Go ahead and save. So for anybody who just jumped on or jumped on in the middle, I'm working on this mission where United States is doing an all-out strike on China, trying to cause the maximum amount of casualties possible. So this is not military targets, not industrial targets per se. It is maximum terror It was based on requests to see how destructive would it be. China's got some very, very densely packed cities. You see as a country overall, you look at the entirety of China and, look at their western coast. It's pretty crazy. So I did it once with allowing the Nuclear War Simulator AI to choose all the targets, and now I'm doing it manually, which is why you're seeing a lot of legwork and seeing who can do a better job. And so AI or myself. So I've now started with the ballistic missile subs. I moved them all close to the border just to make it easier on me. It's not, it's not meaning like realistically I'd say we'd be this close lunch and necessarily. It's really just to make it easier on me. It doesn't have any benefit because this is only looking at the United States striking China. It's not looking at anything else, counter strikes or anything. So, I'm going to chat in the thing. North Korea is launching, for those who are anyone watching the news, they are launching these balloons across the border into South Korea full of trash and manure and used batteries. It's an interesting dynamic. So they just sent more of these balloons, like hundreds of these balloons. Some of them with timers to kind of pop them over. As silly as it sounds, there's some pretty troubling developments on the Korean Peninsula. I'll save that for another video, I think. But their posture in 2019 into 2020 has changed. And I think it's something that it's flying under the radar with Ukraine and Gaza and stuff, but this has a very large potential to have a very flare-up, to say the least. So, as easy as it is to laugh about those balloons, I think there's some more stuff to it. All right, let's look here. Okay. I think I saved already, just want to make sure. And I'm going to run and test it. So attack plan, do all. Boom. So everyone's going to launch. Calculate. $140 million so far. So again, that's what is that? That's five of our ballistic missile subs. Let me reload and keep targeting. Let's see here. List of cities. Chengdu. Chengdu. Isn't that where they have the pandas? Okay. Drawing a blank here. Somebody help me out. Chengdu. Why am I drawing a blank here? There it is. I kept wanting to go up here. I know it wasn't long there. So where did I position those? I think I put the subs I was going to dedicate to them right here. So let's start with this one. Let's go target. Let's look at Chengdu. Just start here. I know in the last video when I said I did all the manual targeting for the Russian strike on the United States, I think a couple people were like incredulous about it. Like, 2,000. It's not that bad once you get into a rhythm. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still sucks. China is a lot easier because of the density of the cities, to be honest with you. Hey, for the person who asked about the North Korean balloons, could I trouble you to take some Lafroche and pour a little bit into a cup and bring it to me? So I've already got one ballistic missile sub dedicated for that one, so maybe I'll use this as a cutoff point and focus some additional ones north here. Gracias. Nothing like getting a little look it up before you drop a bunch of warheads, man. I feel like Nixon. Let's see here. I do one big one in the city. Try to keep it. It's a little bit different. I got a lot of these pockets. They're very small that show a denser population. So I try to keep. Let's go. Stay out of Chungking proper. So I still got a sub for them, but let's see, is there anything? Okay. I'll go ahead and save. Before I test it out again, I'm going to move. I'll do Chungking first. Okay. Just wanted to make sure of that, so I got the right one. Target. I am really south. Oh well. Alright, so we got some of the big boys. Alright. Let's check and make sure everything's good. Clearly this chunking one spread out a little more, but everything looks good. Let me save. Save to sandbox. Overwrite. All right, so we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Targeting's done for 7 of the ballistic missile subs. Let me go ahead and test it out. This would be targeting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 largest cities in China. Let's do a test. Everything's firing like it's supposed to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, missed those two up there, but they did. Calculate. $202 million casualties so far. Okay. If you've been following my prior video, you know this was really a test to see with targeting AI versus myself, which is just going to do better. And, oh, I don't want to save this. Just test. I want to load the other one. I don't think there's any doubt now that I'm going to come out on top. So I've only used a portion for Arsenal. What city is next? I think I'll do one more city and then, how long have I been doing this stream so far? 38 minutes. I think I'll do one more city. Shenzhen. You know what? No, I'll do Shenzhen. Okay. So Shenzhen. Going to be basically all of this. Let's see what's been targeted so far. Let's go. Most of it, to be honest with you. So I think I've actually got most of this targeted because that's going to be Hong Kong proper. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to put some more warheads down and then I'll go up this coast and fill in some of this here. I don't know. Let me move on to the next city. Might come back to that one, but let's see here. Oh shit. I think I've already targeted that one through Greater Beijing. Maybe I haven't though. Let me see. Oh, yeah, no, I have. So, oh, I know who I haven't gotten. Where is that good old pal of ours? Wuhan. Let's see if I've gotten anything near it. No. Okay. So let's say here, attack plans. So let's use this one right here. Target. Let's start laying it down. So I don't think I need to tell anybody the significance in Wuhan in the most recent history of, well, not just China or the United States, but the world. I wonder what kind of things would get released. But would there be anybody alive? I think they would. The viruses would be incinerated in the explosion. Let's see here. I think this will, by and large, once I finish targeting this one, this will cover the 12 largest cities. There was a recent comment by somebody, and it was somebody had made a comment prior to that person, and it was stating it was on the Russia doing an all-out strike on the United States, and saying basically it's a good thing it wasn't the mid '80s, because then the warheads and the amount of warheads and the yield size, everything would have been much higher. And this guy commented and responded and said, irrelevant. I thought, what a dumbass. Put it any other way. What do you mean irrelevant? It's absolutely relevant. The amount of warheads that would be incoming and their yield size is extremely relevant. I don't know. Let me take a firecracker, an M80, light it under your chair. Then let me take a stick of dynamite and light it on your chair. Is it not going to matter the blast size? Yeah, I'd say it'd matter to you. I swear, I don't know, some of these people with their comments sometimes. All right. So, I think I got a couple people bouncing in and out. Not a lot. My channel's not very large. But let me save. I can't remember if I saved or not. This problem, I was yapping my gums too much instead of actually focusing on what I'm doing. All right. So, TAC plans. Let me just make sure everything looks right. So, for Wuhan. Okay. Check everything else. Okay. So what I like to do is, after I do the targeting, what am I up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of our 14 ballistic missile subs have targeted laid out, so there's still 6. And still have to do the ICBMs. But this is targeted, what I say here, I incorrectly spoke. I thought we had done the 12 largest cities. I think we're on the eighth largest, eight of the largest cities. I think some of these may have been hit as well, but I'm not sure. Just targeting because, the greater, like, the greater Shanghai area is hitting some other quite large cities. But I don't think I did Nanjing yet. I think I left that alone. All right, so let me go ahead and execute all plans and let's just test out and see where we're at right now. So everything should be firing off like it's supposed to. Okay. All right. 222 million casualties. So I have matched the AI with 8 of the subs. So no doubt you can chalk this one up as a victory for Magnus Division. But I am still going to go through and continue all the targeting. Not today, not right now. So right now I'm going to do a quick sweep. What is the next one? Have I done... I think this is being spelled differently on this map than what Google is telling me. We'll find out. So if I were to follow this... There it is. Further out than I thought. Man, it's I keep forgetting their population is so densely packed here, just how much more of the country is not part of that. All right. I'll do one last one, just so I can say I beat them already. Let me make sure I'm not utilizing... Okay. Just make sure that I'm not... This is where OCD kicks in. Okay, target. I think any other focused city targets, I'll use ICBMs, which these are not MIRVed, so not locked in. I don't think I can just keep dedicating an entire sub to one of these cities anymore, but instead just using the kind of a different style. But some Lafourche 10-year. I'm a fan of the Pete. I'd say I prefer Ardbeg though. Believe it or not, my preferred Scotch is the Wee Beastie. It's a 5-year. I prefer it to their Ardbeg 10-year or even some of the more premium choices. Kind of makes me stand out a little bit in Kentucky. You know, I'm in the, oops, didn't mean to do that one. Bourbon, capital of the world, and I drink Scotch. Blame it on being a Scotchman. Though I'm more German and Scandinavian than Scotch, but I agree. Tuesday we will grab the Wee Beastie. I had to take a break from training today. Taking a little sabbatical from work after a big project was done and been able to really just focus in on the training side of stuff and just basically been training every single day and did chest yesterday and I don't know, I think we did 30 sets and just can't even lift my arms above my shoulders right now. They're killing me. Okay, now we're into the larger warhead yield size. I'll drop one there. I feel like this is Oprah Winfrey. You get a bomb, you get a warhead, you get a warhead. Everybody gets a warhead. I think I've already targeted them already, but it's gonna get to the point of some utter redundancy, even in China, I think. All right, so let's do plan. Save. So if anybody's new on here, just doing a work in progress mission, laying out manually 2,000 some odd warheads with the United States doing all out civilian strike, counter value strike against China. So far I have started with the ballistic missile subs and done targeting for 9 of them. Let's see here. So, just testing it out. After I do the attack plans, I run a test just to make sure everything works correctly. So I did put a video Friday where I did it with AI, allowed the nuclear war simulation software to do the AI targeting. So really it was also a thing, can I do better targeting than the AI? Now mind you, they had about 222 million casualties total, and that was with the entire US arsenal. Right now I've only utilized a portion of it, 9 of the 14 ballistic missile subs. None of the ICBMs are air launched. So far I'm at 259, basically I say 260 million casualties, if you can see that. So I've already by far beat the AI, just a fraction of it in. So Skynet, you're not winning this one, buddy. All right, I'm going to save. Well, no, I'm not going to save because I'm still testing it out. Go back and load. So, all right. So I'm going to call it a night there. It's going to take quite a bit more targeting. Appreciate everybody that jumped on. If you're new to the channel, check out my videos. This is just a working session. It's not too exciting or anything, but I figure since I'm putting in some time, if anyone wanted to see the fact that, yes, I am actually manually targeting all this stuff and it's not just rubbish. So I'll probably do 1 or 2 more as I finish the scenario before the final video comes out. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.